it's Tara Green here. We're going to talk about the October the 9th, the full moon in Aries, also called the Hunter Moon. So you can see I've drawn in the major aspects quite darkly, so you can see the special sacred geometry of this full moon called the Hunter Moon. So the full moon is exact at 4:55 p.m. That's Eastern Daylight Time, 1:55 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and 9:54:55, some say 54:55 Greenwich Mean Time. This is placed for Washington, D.C. So you can see the sun there, 16 degrees plus Libra, conjunct Psyche, the asteroid Psyche, and also flanked by Amor. So the Greek myth of Psyche and Amor is about the search for love, the human being going search for Psyche, which is soul. Okay, or Psyche is the soul going searching for Amor, vice versa. Okay, and there's the moon directly opposite there. There's the moon at 16 degrees of Aries, conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer. So this is a major opposition here, requiring that we balance the Aries warrior, wounded warrior, toxic, masculine, aggressive, competitive, conjunct the wounded healer here. We're pointing out we can't help but feel the wounds that we're holding down, deep down inside of us. You know, Aries is very foolhardy and kind of rushes in and, you know, defensive. And so we can either super defend our wounds against those we love, which keeps us out of balance. This is the warrior, this is the peacemaker. So it's very obvious we're looking very clearly at the split, the kind of enforced split between two sides, us and them, whatever way you want to look at. Are you an us Libra? Are you the us Aries? The other side, the shadow side, is always them. So it's a time of great healing and spontaneity, fiery, aggressive, competitive, martial, danger of war. Actually, do we go to war? Do we make peace? Do we wage war or peace? And the sun, Psyche and Amor, and the moon and Chiron square Lilith, the first woman, the dark feminine, the one who's rejected because she wants equality and respect. So it's very important that we're pointing to the original woman, the original matriarch, Lilith, the first woman before Eve, and Athena, another parthenogenic goddess. The city of Athens is named in her honor. Athena is right on the biggest star in the sky, Sirius, and that's where the U.S. sun is. So you can see this lunation is very focused on the U.S. sun, that point there where Sirius is. You can see it there. Now, there's also a couple of major fixed stars that I didn't put in here connected to the sun and the moon there, which adds further impetus. And then what else is going on here? So you're going to feel that push-pull, okay? It can be a great time to make peace if you've been out of harmony within yourself, with anybody in your family, your lovers, but be emotionally strategic about it. You know, Lilith would rather be alone than not be treated equally. So there's a lot of that kind of energy because Lilith and Athena are at the apex of that opposition there. This is the T-square here. It's called a T-square where it focuses on the apex. So Lilith isn't afraid because she is really 1/4 of God. She is 1/2 of the duality, complementary opposites of the Godhead. She is the death-bringing goddess, actually associated with menstrual blood, which is considered to be very sacred. The word taboo originally meant sacred, and scientists are now rediscovering how powerful and magical menstrual blood is. So there's Lilith there. Literally, you can use your menstrual blood, bleeding women, at this full moon to really do some powerful magic, especially with Psyche and Amor there. And even the asteroid Eros is there as well. It was strictly intuitional. I don't usually use Amor, but my intuition said put Amor in. I didn't know it was going to show up directly in this lunation. So Amor is love, more like sexual love. Eros is more like what turns you on, and Psyche is the soul. So the soul of Libra, you know, and then Lilith, this thing about being treated as absolute equals and never, never compromising, which is what the sun in Leo wants to do. So we're erring more on, either my way or the highway kind of thing, or we see each other as equals, or I'm out of here. Now you can see also there's a great big grand air trine there between the sun, Libra, and air signs Psyche and Amor. to Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, and Vesta, the root word of investment. So this can be kind of a lot of hyperbole, a lot of air, a lot of hot air around crypto or economics, not really knowing what's going on here. And then they trine Mars in Gemini. So Mars is at that magical 22 degree. We're still in 2022. And Mars in Gemini in this chart set for Washington is in the 4th house, which represents the people. And again, Gemini can be the twins, of course, but it can also be the lovers in the tarot. So, and in fact, we can't have one without the other. So the magical, magnetic attraction of opposites, that's what Mars and Gemini is. And really, this is the magnetic attraction of the opposites as well. So Mars and Gemini, well, we know, or if you don't know, Mars is in Gemini for a very long time, up to 7 months. It will turn retrograde at the end of this month and stay retrograde until the beginning of January. So Mars is getting very close. It's already in its shadow period. It's getting close to where it's going to turn a retrograde later this month. Okay, but that nice air trine, remember to breathe. Okay, remember to breathe. I've been starting to feel like a lighter energy coming in here. Aries full moon is a completion. All full moons are completions, but the Aries energy is a new beginning. So I think it's a good time to complete before you actually begin. Okay, and remember that the energy of the full moon can last around a couple of days, 2.5 days, depending on how far into the sign the full moon is. Let's see what else we've got here. Mercury at 28 degrees of Virgo. Our minds are very grounded and sharp and organized, is squaring the galactic center there, the big black hole at the center of our Milky Way galaxy that offers an opportunity to really open your mind, to go galactic, to really tune into the galactic center for answers. And then it's opposite Neptune in Pisces, still retrograde. So that Mercury-Neptune opposition is good for making practical budgets for dreams, for bringing in practical dreams, things that will sustain you, things that will help you grow food, really literally organizing, analyzing, putting it down on paper, kind of getting some practical ways to work with your spirituality, with your dreams, note-taking, reading, lots of reading, old-fashioned book reading, memorizing, a lot of memorizing. If you're learning anything, it's always good to memorize and use that memory muscle. So Neptune's also squaring the galactic center, and Neptune will continue to square the galactic center as it has for a while. Galactic center is at 26, 27 Sag. Neptune is really going to be in that range until for the next year or two, I would say. So that's a very interesting aspect because it really helps us to work with the higher master teachers, work with the beings in the constellations and the different galaxies right now in our dreams, especially in our visualizations and our imagination. Okay, now Jupiter is still retrograde at 1 degree. Aries there, pretty much on that 1st degree of the zodiac, actually. What's Jupiter doing there? Jupiter. Well, Jupiter is opposite Mercury as well, even though they're in different signs. Again, this is good for intellectual, analytical rethinking. Jupiter's still retrograde, remember. The details, all the details, right? But not worrying too much. Okay. The North Node at 13 Taurus conjunct Uranus there. So we are meant to be the disruptors in the physical plane with our values, with our tools. Also, the ongoing square from Saturn to Uranus is still going on right now. They're both at 18 degrees. So if you have planets at 18 degrees, you will feel the impact of Saturn and Uranus very strongly in your chart. And again, 16 degrees is not that far away. It's only within 2 degrees. So, but Uranus is in conjunct the Sun and Amor and Psyche, as is the North Node. So in conjunct is where the Sun in Libra wants to be a peacemaker at any cost. They want everybody to think they're nice. But Uranus in Taurus can be very chaotic and outspoken, and as the modern ruler of Aquarius, very different, thinking outside the box, being willing to take some big risks, which even though it's Taurus and they don't like to take risks, and ironically Aquarius is the sign of revolution, but also a fixed sign, just like Taurus, just like Leo, just like Scorpio. And speaking of Scorpio, there's the South Node there, 13 degrees of Scorpio right now, again, in conjunct Chiron and the moon. So there can be some big defenses about this big deep shadow here. This is the repository. This is where all the skeletons are, South Node in Scorpio. And needing to really understand what they are because they're really motivating us unconsciously. Scorpio has a tie to the unconscious, just like Pisces and the 12th house, and Neptune does as well. Jupiter is the modern ruler. All right, let's see what else we've got here. Ceres, the great mother here, she's at 4 degrees of Virgo, conjunct the part of fortune, or a lot of fortune here, opposite Juno. So that's also a very nice aspect here. Always nice to get the goddess, the feminine asteroids there. Ceres is now a dwarf planet. And in Virgo, she's very earthy. She's in her own sign. She rules the earth, connected to the part of fortune. The part of fortune would be nurturing and feeding yourself natural foods, organic medicine. I'm a big proponent of homeopathy, even though it seems to be being struck down these days. Pseudoscience, it is not. It's very effective. I wouldn't have my beautiful daughter Leia here now if not for helping me conceive and during my labor and her birth, and she's been a homeopathic baby her whole life. Natural medicine, all of that stuff, plant medicines that heal. And then Juno, the feminine form of genius here in Pisces, reminding us to really be able to tap into that multi-dimensional reality. I'm really feeling that coming in stronger these days, those frequencies. Not shown here, but South Node and Juno are in a nice trine as well, as is Scorpio to Lilith and to Athena. I didn't draw that on because we're starting to get a little bit busy there, but yeah, you can see that, right? South Node to Pisces to Ceres and to Athena there. So lots going on there, lots of nice supportive aspects with those trines, the big air trines, the big water trines, those big T-squares there. So this is a pretty intense full moon. We are getting ready also to go into eclipse season later this month. So I would really set new beginnings here. Sun opposite Venus. What are your love, relationship goals that you want to attract? How in or out of balance are you? You know, it's also about creativity. Venus in Libra in her own sign there rules the sun. She is widely opposite Neptune there, and they are literally, Venus is the human love and Neptune is the higher octave for the soulmate, for the unconditional love. What do I need to sacrifice as well? What do I need to let go of? Also a sense of really letting go here, letting healing in. You know, it's like that Leonard Cohen poem, you know, that there's a crack in everything to let the light in. So Chiron it keeps filling up the cracks, but we can't keep filling up those cracks forever. And I think also that Uranus and Taurus is also about this rediscovery of the body being the place that holds all the trauma, and really through somatic, through body work, and through emotional work can we understand the traumas and release them. So this is a very big healing time. I would definitely go for that, you know, aggressively, like Aries wants to do. They want fast relief. Yeah, let's say you can do that now. Let's say that suddenly all of your years and your hard work and your shadow work for all these months while Pluto was retrograde. Pluto just turned direct late yesterday. So Pluto is still stationary and very powerful here, still sitting on the point where Pluto turned direct actually in 1776. And now the U.S. is headed for its third and final Pluto return on December 28th. So yeah, you've done the work, you'll get the rewards. That's Saturn Aquarius as well, trining the sun there. So I want to wish you all the best blessings. If you want to get in touch with me, I'm at tarottarot.com. I am going to be doing an 8-week Galactic Dreaming Healing Temple course, which starts as Jupiter re-enters Pisces for the second time in 2022, a very, very rare and special auspicious occasion. Jupiter enters Pisces at 10:10 p.m. in Pacific Daylight Time. I'm going to start the course on that night and have it every Thursday. That's Jupiter's day. For 8 weeks, we're going to dream collectively. It's going to be very healing. We're going to work on our shadows. And it's you, if you feel called to do the dream work, to do your soul work. You know, the dream work is the royal road of the soul, according to Carl Jung. So if you want to come into that, I would strongly recommend that you book for all 8 weeks. We will be dreaming in each other's dreams. We'll be doing expressive arts therapy. We'll be writing poetry. I'll have musical guests and other kinds of guests to come on. So please sign up now. You can do that through an email at tarottarot.com or at tarotgreentarot@gmail.com. And I do have a special, it's $222 for the 8-week course. If you are in financial straits, which I know a lot of people are, you can always email me and let me know what your financial status is, and we'll work something out, because I don't want anybody to be left out. So yes, we're going to dream big, we're going to dream deep, we're going to go really deep into our souls and do a personal healing, collective healing, galactic healing as well. Okay, sending you many blessings on this full moon.